Fei Shao didn't have a tail. Now Miyabi doesn't have a tail. What's going on? Do you hate animal girls with tail? Do you just hate us? I have a tail. I have a tail. Give my girl some tail. Look at the tail. It's huge. It's huge. Give them some tails, please. My God. Subscribe, please. Hello there, YouTube. Today I'm coming to you live because we finally have the official drip marketing for Hoshimi Miyabi. Last week we had the drip marketing for the lovely Arumasa Asapa, Arumasa Masa as they call him in game, and that was something. And after a day with no Miyabi drip marketing, people were freaking out. But a week later, and she's finally here. So first and foremost, Hoshimi Miyabi looking good. They also changed her model in game. Her eyes are looking different. They're looking better. She's looking crisper. And for those who've played the recent story involving the special mission around Yanagi, this was a pretty good time, and we got to see the entire Section 6 interact with each other, and it was pretty fun. So nice. Now, moving on to her directly. There's a few things I do want to point out here. Obviously, first and foremost, she's an anomaly, which to some people might be a surprise. I think a lot of people were expecting her to be an attacker. And some people were actually worried that, like, okay, so she's going to be an ice attacker because there were some changes during CBT. She was playable back then. She was testable. Let's put testable. You could test her out. And there were some times, at some point, there was like, she was wind element, when wind element was a thing. Then eventually, I think she was ice, then wind, and ice again. A lot of shenanigans, but I think she was attacker back then. Now she's anomaly. So people were worried because it was like, oh, if she's ice attacker, she's gonna be a power creep for Ellen, that, you know, she was the first limited character. And now we're gonna get another ice attacker that's just gonna, you know, be way better. No, she's actually anomaly. Which to me is great news because I love anomaly character, I love Jane, I love Yanagi, and I cannot wait to use them together. Now, the quote-unquote elephant in the room, and that is her element. Here it might not be super visible, this looks like the ice element, but if you look a little bit closely here, you can actually see it is not exactly the ice element. And to prove that, these is how the ice element actually looks like. Well, you can't see it super well here, but I'm gonna zoom there. And there we go. See? It's a 6-pointed star. Essentially, it looks like a, you know, like a snowflake. But here, there's a kind of jaggedness to it, right? And there's two schools of thoughts, obviously, and these are the two choices. In my opinion, I think because it's 6-pointed star, Q is crying because I'm doing a video, so as always, these obviously look like ice, but some people think it might be a fusion of ice and fire because it could look like flame. Here, see, it's a little bit rounded at the end there in the center here. Or some people think that because it's jagged, it might be electric and ice together. See, because it's like this. So I think when I think ice and fire could be an interesting combo. We see that kind of stuff, you know, BNH with like, no, BHA with like Todoroki and stuff like that. So it could be that. It could be a element that's like just a fully new element, even if I doubt it. In my opinion, it is going to be a mix. I feel like all of the characters from Section 6 so far seem to have kind of a multi-stance or like a weapon that can be deployed, right? If you look at Sukaku's weapon, it kind of deploys itself into like a big fan or double-sided weapon, right? Yanagi, she has a katana that can be elongated into a proper naginata. If you look at Abasa, it's actually two katanas that can be locked up together into a bow. And so they all feel like they maybe have multiple stances. So I could definitely see her having a lightning stance or a fire stance as well as an ice stance, right? Or have some kind of special effect. We just saw Yanagi have the ability to have her own disorder with the polar disorder, no, the polarity disorder, I believe. So maybe she has a kind of special anomaly. When she triggers it, it also applies some burn or something special like that, right? There is something to be said about ice. I don't know if that ever happened to you, but when something is so cold, it feels like it's burning, right? So that could be the thing, right? It's like her attacks are so ice cold, it actually burns and scales the skin. So that is possible. Scald. You know what I mean. Either way, very interesting stuff. Gotta keep an eye on that because I'm super, super excited for her. I've been just waiting for her. I've been saving for her. I'll try to get her, potentially her weapon as well. So, moving on, we have a little bit of information here. Order cannot be broken. Hoshimi Miyabi. Simply imitating the swordsmanship of the strong will ultimately not lead to greatness. It's like the newly bought photocopier in the office. It may be energy efficient and eco-friendly, but its impassionate replication only adds meaningless noise and distortion. This noise will become your weakness. You must not get careless. That's kind of funny considering someone that doesn't want to do her work. Let's see what other people have to say about her. So, Arumasa. Luckily, I got a good boss. This job might be worthwhile after all. Okay, Juyan. At first, the way she speaks might be difficult to understand, but it's not as bad as the rumors suggest. In any case, you'll understand once you meet her. Okay, Sukaku. What day are we on of the boss determining melon content by eating melon products training program? What day are we on the boss determining melon content by eating melon products? Training program. I'm so confused. Sukaku claims to have already forgotten what melon tastes like. Okay. Thank you so much, Commander Bianu. Is that an Aethyrene? A survivor rescued from the hollows by Miyabi. She does have this little thing. We actually haven't really seen it lately in the game. In the entire quest, I don't think it was here. But she does seem to have this kind of like small yokai following her, I guess. It looks to be like I don't know, like a mix of a Oni and a Cyclops. I don't know what this is, but it's really cute. And obviously here we can see her and she looks beautiful. I love Foxyrene. I'm a bit sad she doesn't have a tail, I will say. I feel like I'm being pranked by Mihoyo because Fei Shao didn't have a tail. Now Miyabi doesn't have a tail. What's going on? Do you hate animal girls with tail? Do you just hate us? I have a tail. I have a tail. Give my girls some tail. Look at my tail. It's huge. It's huge. Give them some tails, please. My God. So, yeah, as I was saying, if I had to guess, like, what kind of, like, gameplay she's gonna have, I would imagine that she has a stand change and she can inflict different types of damage, so she can switch between doing, like, either ice damage or fire damage, or her skill maybe will apply a different kind of burning or ice damage. Like, I could see like a very special element that she only has. The same way that, for example, if you look at Kafka in Star Rail, Kafka's Lycon specifically allows her to apply an electric dot, an electric DOT that does not count as just the classic electric, right? So maybe she is going to have a specific ice dot that functions like a burn. Because in the game, when you do a fire anomaly, it will make the enemy burn over time. They take like dot damage. Essentially, when they get hit, blah, 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 blah. It's a long story, but it ticks down essentially. And when you do an ice anomaly, it freezes them. So maybe her specifically has the ability to maybe freeze the enemies, but also apply an ice dot, which we don't have currently in Zenless Zone Zero. So this is what I could imagine happening, or the stand change. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what your wild ideas could be, what your speculations are. Are you going to be pulling for Miyabi? Do you like her design? Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the good. And you can catch me live on twitch.tv/KittyKathee. See you then.